Hi guys, it's Simon from Tech My Life Video, and I'm back with a slightly different angle on today's video, and we're looking at the VESA mount or VESA mount, depending on how you pronounce it. I'm not sure the official way to pronounce it, but let's just have it at that. A few reflections there off the old box. So this is the mount for the cinema display. It's the 24-inch cinema display. You can order this separately from the Apple website. So we're going to look at fitting today. So a little bit about the monitor. A friend of mine was not using it anymore after upgrading to a couple of 27-inch iMacs. I've replaced the video card in my Mac Pro a little while back, and it enables me now to use cinema display ports. So he said, look, take it, have a look, see what you think. So now I'm looking to purchase it and obviously mount it in a slightly better way. But let's have a quick look at the setup I've been using up until now. So here's the setup I've basically had until recently. Now one of these monitors has died. I thought instead of investing in fixing that, maybe look at something a little bit better now that I have cinema display ports on my Mac Pro. Downside of two monitors like this, you tend to find yourself looking at the join all the time. But in terms of having them on the ergonomic arms, you can basically position these monitors forwards, or you can move them right back, you can move them up, you can rotate, you can change the angle. You've pretty much got complete control in space with the articulated arms. So let's talk a little bit about this monitor. It shares the same base as the iMac. As you can see, it's up off the desk on a little base here, which does give me the ability to slide the keyboard away underneath, but the main thing is that it lifts the monitor up to the correct eye level. As you can see, even with this monitor, which is at the eye level that I've had it for a long time, so it works out that the iMac sits at basically the right level, coincidentally, when it's on this box. But the problem with the iMac is you just have a tilt control, so just a tilt forwards and backwards, like so. But let's have a look, and as you can see, and just before we do that, as you can see, I'm sitting at my desk. It's about the right eye level. Okay, it's just slightly, the top of the screen is slightly below eye level. So ergonomically, it's in about the right position. Let's have a look at it when it's down on the desk. So as you can see here, this is the monitor down on the desk. Now it's a long way. It's a long way below eye level, and I'm really looking down at the screen. So basically, it's not ideal ergonomically to be in that position. Now, once upon a time, Mac designed what I consider a very good monitor, or a very good computer. They designed this little guy. Now, the ironic thing is that this guy is just a 15-inch display, and in its highest position, the top of its screen is actually, on the camera it looks about even, it's actually slightly higher than this iMac with a 24-inch display, and this monitor can move from very low up to very high. It still has that tilt control, so even at the maximum it still has that ability to tilt, but it can be moved down closer to your eye level through what is a very clever ergonomic design. The iMac, the current iMacs and cinema displays don't share this clever ergonomic design. I've always thought that the current iMac is very unergonomic and really should be mounted on some sort of arm to provide a better positioning of the monitor. So let's get on with unboxing this guy and let's get it fitted. Just take it quickly with the little knife there and peel the plastic off. Off to the side. Oh. A tight fit there. So we've got the mount itself. So we've got the mount, we've got instructions, we've got a little toolkit, specialised tools, we've got a bracket and some bolts. So here's all the parts, the brackets, some tools, instruction manual, a bracket and some bolts. Let's get fitting. So with this, I think it's a good idea to follow the instructions, because sometimes you don't want to get things wrong. Basically what you've got here is a piece of plastic that is provided. It's actually a tool, and what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to slip it in just above the top of the stand. But before you do that, what you're going to do is tip the monitor all the way back, and then you're going to slip that card in just above at the top of the stand. You're going to slip it in, and you're going to be able to hear that's actually me just pushing the spring in and releasing the spring. So push in, hold the spring, and tilt the monitor forwards. And what's going to happen is it's going to go further forwards. And that's actually the first time I've done it. It's going to go further forwards than it has before, and it's going to lock into place. I can't actually move the monitor back now. It's actually locked. As you can see there, it's locked into place. And this is the point where we lower the monitor down. What we've got here is a special line of Torx, T-O-R-X, and we need a bolts, and we need a little special tool that is provided to undo them. So we need to remove all of these 8 bolts. So let's go ahead and do that. So just taking the last bolt out there, I like to be slow and deliberate and just make sure that you take your time, keep track of your parts obviously, and this leg here will obviously need a little bit of support just as you take the last bolt in, because as soon as you take the last bolt in, it's basically going to fall off in your lap, and you're just going to have to unfeed it off the cable. Why I think about it, that is one cable that is a little bit too short on these monitors. So there's the base. We'll put that off to the side, and we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so the next part is putting on this bracket. It's relatively obvious which way it goes around. It's just going to fit over the top like that, and you're going to replace all these bolts. Now this little bracket here that actually attached to the monitor, that's why it's very important to make sure that you lock that leg in place, because actually what you're doing is locking this in place before you lay the monitor down. That's using that little white card, so this doesn't flip back inside the monitor and leave you in a lot of strife. I'm not sure how you would retrieve that if you allowed that to happen. So let's go to fit the bracket. Okay, so there we go. Now, as I said before, take your time, be very deliberate in making sure those screws, are fitted correctly, nice and firm and nice and tight. Don't rush it. It doesn't need to be rushed. It's not a race. It's better to get it right. So next we have fitting the bracket. Bracket is fairly symmetrical, except it has this little top on the centre, and that just fits over. It also has writing, which is going to help you see that it just fits over the top of the centre bracket. Now we have 3 bolts that look like this. We've got 2 large bolts which are going to go in the sides, and 1 large centre bolt which is going to go in the middle like that. So basically what we're going to do is tighten the centre screw until these side bolts can actually, these holes actually line up with the holes inside. Now just note that this bracket, where it actually touches along these 2 edge strips, they're actually covered in a rubber strip to stop it scratching or marking the monitor. Obviously metal on metal wouldn't be the best. The best sign in my mind that these are actually lining up is that you can tighten them with your fingers. So if you can screw these in and out with your fingers into those holes, they're obviously lining up nicely. You can obviously force it with the tool. And the last one is this tool, which is going to tighten up these two bolts. Try to do it without scratching the monitor. Again, make sure these are done up nice and firm without obviously damaging or threading. And there we go. That is fitted quite nicely there. So there we have the mount fitted to the back of the monitor. So the final step is to fit the arm. The arm has a plate that fits on, and it has simply 4 thumb screws which you're going to screw into the corresponding positions. And there we are, all fitted, nice and firm. Again, take your time. You don't want your monitor falling flat in its face and breaking. So yeah, take your time with these things. So here we go with the monitor on the monitor arm. Now I've moved the base slightly because just wanting to position this monitor in the center, need to have the base kind of positioned as well. I may actually get rid of this other monitor, a bit of cable management there to do, but I may actually get rid of it and just see how I go with the single monitor. Really kind of, really not using that monitor for much at the moment. But with the monitor arm, you'll see that you have complete control. You can even tip the monitor on its side, so if you were a writer and you wanted to have that, now here's something for Apple to add to their monitors, an accelerometer in the monitor, so when you turn it sideways it completely switches your desktop to what would be a portrait mode. That'd be pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm sure there's probably an app out there you can have that you just click a button and it does it all for you. But there you go. As my air conditioner switches on outside, that is the monitor on VESA monitor mount. I've had to adjust the tension on the height and even the rotation of the monitor with the extra weight to stop it sagging. It's important to check that out if you're buying a monitor arm, to make sure you get an arm that can withstand the weight of your monitor. If you've got any questions, please put them down below. Please like the video and please subscribe to the channel. I'm Simon from Tech My Life Video. I hope you've enjoyed this one. I certainly have, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.